Hello, I'm filmmaker Archie Wright.
Hello, and I'm ball painter Tim Baker. And this is the Shrove Tide Podcast Christmas Special. Ho, 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 bar humbug.
They all play hard, they all play well, but there's always stories to be told. That is why I have the great honor to say, Archie Wright and Tim Baker, are you ready for the stories? Who will the guest be today? When the ball is robbed in red, white and blue, and the Englishman tries his best, the players get stories, which is why we are here. Archie Wright and Tim Baker. Who is the guest today?
So around Christmas is when Shrove Tide sort of is morely thought about. So how do you think people train over Christmas time?
Dave's a trainer.
Yeah. Well, we used roughly start in August, September. Then we used to ramp it up at Christmas. Well, I did. I virtually ran every day around the Christmas period because I could do, because I had 2 weeks off. I think lads are fitter now, fitter, stronger. In my day, there was only sort of a handful, that were really fit because they didn't train as much. But now, in general, we started in September straight through, but Christmas we really ramped it up. You sort of do 4, 5, 6 miles a day. You perhaps have Christmas Day off, but if you wanted to score one of these, you had to.
Yeah.
And that's what I say to them now, really. If you can't do a 6-minute mile now, it's not a waste of time putting your boots on.
So you're both members of the Royal Shrove Tide Committee. How did you both get involved in that or asked to be on it?
Quite surprised, actually. I think I went on with Paddy. Paddy or Chaz, can't remember. We all pretty much went on at the same time.
And how do you feel about being part of it?
Brilliant. Love it.
Nick?
Well, obviously I started off on the Players Committee along with Dave.
I did, yeah.
How long ago now? Probably 25 years ago. Ended up vice chairman, and then had the honour of being asked to go onto the main committee. So, yeah.
Marvellous.
Yeah. I was chairman for a while, and then I got asked to go on the main committee.
So you've both chaired the Players Committee?
Yeah.
So can you just, for the folks at home, sort of give us a rough breakdown of the difference between the two, just so, because people sometimes don't understand what the difference is?
It's not a great deal of difference. Obviously, we're primarily the custodians of the game, and there's a lot of work goes off with the main committee on getting the game, getting the game on, really. The players, they do help us out tremendously. Because there's a lot more things in place these days compared to what there used to be that we have to adhere to, else it's just unfortunately one of those things we have to do.
Sure.
Yeah, because I do the risk assessments.
God, I don't know how you do that, Dave. That itself is a.
It works well though.
It does.
We went through a period where I wouldn't say we were against one another, but we're now solid as a Players Committee, which is massive for us, and the main committee. Where one works in tandem with the other.
And of course, you're following historic footsteps, aren't you? That go right back to, I wouldn't say day one, but pretty much early into the game. Yeah. Certainly into the late 1800s, there was a Shrove Tide Committee. And probably what people don't realise was before that, there was just a downers and uppers captain. And they organised it, but then it sort of evolved later on where more people got involved.
I think what it is now is, it's more complex. Everything that, the tick boxes that we have to do, working in with the local authorities, police, ambulance. Now that obviously we have a 4x4, company that come in, policing the game. So, yeah, it's a massive thing.
Traffic management,
If this is allowed to be asked, as you two are both in the committee, How is it decided on who turns up the ball?
We have letters come in from the general public.
Yeah, nominations.
Yeah. I mean, there was one lady, anonymous, I don't know who this lady was, for 5 years. She wrote for putting Boris Johnson forward,
Oh, okay.
you know, for 5 years.
You get some strange nominations.
No, I think people, you know, people are allowed their own.
I mean, you don't get any weird loony ones, other than Boris Johnson.
I don't think we have had. No, I think everybody's entitled to put forward who they think will turn the ball up, and then it goes through the committee. Yeah, it's worked on as regards. We get down to the last two.
Wonderful, like a process of elimination.
Exactly.
So, thinking about your Shrove Tide games for a bit, because you're both obviously players before you were committee members, just give us a memory, one each, about past Shrove Tide games you've been involved with that sticks out in your mind. Things, just one event that sticks out in your mind, even if it's when you goaled it.
When I goaled mine, there was about 8 inches of snow. You know,
I remember that,
yeah, very cold. It broke off the wreck. Perhaps off the playing field, you know, where the rugby pitch is now, really. I think it started there. I was at the bottom by the river, and it went uphill being kicked. And I think it went for 1 or 2 fields. And I came up, and Bill Ratcliffe had picked it up.
Yeah.
Myself and Mick caught him up, and he just handed it to us, and he says, "Here, don't let no bugger take it off you."
But
to be fair, Mick's knowledge of that area is absolutely phenomenal. And we went, as you know, the river bends up and down all the way, if you like, and we started going uphill, whereas folks behind us kept going straight. Well, a lot of people crossed the river 3 times. We never touched it. We went above the bends and came back down. It looks as if
using Mick's rights knowledge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mick was just brilliant. I was carrying it. We went up, and it looks as if they were catching us, but because they got over the river 3 times, we were quite away in front when I goaled it. There was nobody there. Luckily, there was a guy, whose name was Darren Bonshaw, and a young lady. She was a Wilson.
Polly?
Yes.
Yeah.
She took a picture, which is pretty much that there, really.
Right. You can see ice on it, can't you, as well?
Yeah, they were the only 2 people that were there.
Amazing.
One of the first people that came was Harry. He just looked at us and shook his head and walked off. I think he called us a few names, Martin. You know
it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, Nick, what about your game?
I suppose memories. Oh, I could talk all night about memories, but on my ball, luckily, if that's what you want to know about.
Yeah, sure.
It was when we were on dominating the game, really, and we ended up going up Belper Road, all the way up Belper Road. It got outside, so it went down Sturston Lane, was pushed all the way, went down Sturston Lane, got outside Stuart Allen's, opposite Needham's there, and funnily enough, there was a shout of the ball had gone.
A dummy ball came in.
Yeah,
right,
and it wasn't. I could see what was happening. The ball was sharply bagged up. Jeff was there, and Uddy, and quite a few others. And anyway,
John Aimstock, late John Aimstock.
Yeah.
He was mentioned the other day, actually.
Yeah.
John.
Yeah,
Nice lad.
Yeah, lovely lad, brilliant lad.
Yeah.
But there was a big mass dispersal of downwards at that time. But I knew the ball was still there, so what it was, we picked it up, and Jeff was picking it up at the same time. He was with us, and we walked it all the way up the lane. We got to the corner, just where you get to the hall, and it was sort of a bit of a downers last stand. They pushed us into the field, and it's a marshy field, that is, Baden. Lost my boot in there.
Okay, so you've only got 1 shoe on.
Yeah, I lost my boot in there. But yeah, got to the goal. I've been in numerous draws prior to this. I thought I'd have a good chance the year before, but that's Shrove Tide for you. I was in a draw, a 50-50 draw, 2 years previous to that. But then when we got into the goal, there was no draw, and it opened up for me. Yeah, Mark Ellen had got it in the river. Walked up by, Terry were there, Martin, Fliss, all the names, people that I, when I said about training, we did used to train a bit, but got to the goal, no draw. And I can always remember Lenny being at the goal and Mark Ellaby. Lenny got a T-shirt on. I couldn't believe that he got a T-shirt on at the goal. Yeah, just opened up, banged it against the post. Yeah.
And it's retained a lot of its paint, didn't it?
Yeah. Fortunately, this never touched the water until I gold it.
Did you paint that?
I did, yeah. I remember painting that. It's the lacquer, David. It's that lacquer duck, yeah. Seriously, though, I was amazed when I saw it that night, how much...
well, that's one of the best I've seen when you think... Because, what was it, 9 o'clock?
It was 7.
7 o'clock.
A bit before 7, I think.
And you just retained it as it was.
Just retained it as it was. Just had a little, obviously I had to put my name on it. Had Mrs. name, lad's name. But that is how it was gold. Yeah. So... yeah, when they were trying to hide that ball, it was never being hidden.
Yeah, and that's that coat of arms in the back, something I won't be doing again. Go on, Archie.
No, that's one that, you said it tested you, didn't you?
Yeah, sent me boz-eyed, that one did.
To paint over it, it'd be sacrilege, wouldn't it?
It would really, yeah. They're nice when they can be kept that way.
Yeah, I was fortunate, as I say, that, when I received this ball back, I took it to the late John Bather, let him have a look at it. And
wonderful man.
Yeah, he was thrilled, and even in his latter years, I sent it again via another party, and he said it was one of the best days that he'd had. Yeah.
I mean, a little tale when I went to see John Bather at Longford Grange to ask him what he wanted on that particular ball, and he told me, and I took it round to show him a couple of 3 or 4 weeks later when I painted it, of course, and he said, I must give you something for it. I said, no, it's not for you to do that, it's my contribution to it. He says, well, allow me to give you something. So he went away and he come back with 2 bottles of vintage champagne that was very expensive and very nice, I might add.
Yeah, I didn't really meet the bloke, but he was generally, he was, over the moon that...
what was he after, Tim?
Not on camera, Dave. No. I don't know, mate. He was just overcome.
Yeah.
He was overcome with what I'd done, how rubbish it was. Anyway, go on then, Arch. Go for it.
Have you ever thought about having it repainted, or do you just like it the way it is?
No, just like it the way it is. Yeah, I'd never have this repainted. No.
I wonder about the lads today, because there's a lot of brown balls today.
Oh, loads, yeah.
And I do think when they're all hanging up, I think, how do they know who's?
Right. We had one chap come in recently, did a podcast, who'd had his ball repainted and said he wished he hadn't had it repainted. He wanted it just the way it was.
I wished I'd kept one side as it was.
Right.
Original, but it was the dumb thing then.
David, you won't remember this, but I was a young lad then, just before I started painting the balls, and I saw you outside one of the pubs in town, and you showed me that because you'd gold it early. It was after the game was over on the Tuesday, and you got it with you.
10 to 5.
I think it was, and it's got quite a lot of paint on it, as I remember.
Yeah.
I remember the crown was cut on it, and
so it's quite a lot of flowers on one side.
It was quite a lot, wasn't it? Yeah.
It's quite a white ball.
Yes.
Which was quite, what's it with it being?
Absolutely. Yeah, I remember it well. Happy memories.
So your answer is no, Archie. I won't have this painted.
No.
So, guys, another committee type question, but it's a good one. How do you guys keep this game alive in these modern times?
To be fair, people from Derbyshire Dales, there was a lady called Liz Fothergill, wasn't it? She was the chair of the DSEG meeting, and she was absolutely fantastic. She was well drilled each year with the fire, police, and everybody like that. We've had 1 or 2 issues, insurance, as you know, over the years. Yeah. But we feel as if that's all in hand at the minute.
Good.
All good. We've never actually had a claim.
No.
So, which we don't want.
Committee's in a good place, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Good. That's good to hear.
It becomes routine, obviously, the jobs that you have to do, year in, year out. It's a bit of a tick list.
I don't think, fellas, let's be honest, we could start this as a new thing now, couldn't we?
No chance.
Our history dictates where we are.
Yeah.
And we rely on players. We rely, obviously, we're older now. We rely on players, to just do what we ask. You know what I mean? We're not saying it to be, we're not poo-pooing anything or what have you.
No.
You know what I mean? We know how hard it is to make the game happen. Yeah. Don't spoil it for everybody.
I mean, we don't want a lot of rules.
No,
we don't want them really, because we want them to play the game.
To be honest with you, considering how old our game is, we ain't got that many, have we? Really?
No.
I mean, you could have a tick list of them if you wanted to, couldn't you? By now,
say, don't go through the garden, which we don't want them to go through the garden, but it has gone through the gardens, which it has in this last couple of years. And if there's not much damage, then okay, let's just get away.
Daffodils come back in March.
Yeah. Well, I'm not promoting that.
No, of course not.
Anyway,
Any which way.
Any which way.
What's the biggest threat, do you think, of the game potentially going down the drain?
I would say insurance, really.
Yeah.
Insurance is on our tick list that you have to have insurance, and it's quite well. I wouldn't say it's difficult. It isn't difficult at the moment, but it just needs that 1 year where it goes totally wrong, and then we might struggle for insurance.
I do wonder if we might have to put a bond up eventually. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of wealthy people in and around this area that would give to the game, and I just wonder if we might have to put a bond up or something like that, might we, as regards insurance?
Sure. Yeah, who knows? Yeah. So, in a special Christmas twist, as it's just coming up for the festive season, if you had to have a Christmas themed Shrove Tide ball, what would you have on it?
Oh dear, not the older.
Good answer.
Got me onto it. I can't think now. Now you've got me. Good question, Tim.
No,
One day, have a
Christmas
good thing.
theme.
Christmas
Yeah,
theme ball.
yeah.
What would you have it? What would you have painted on it? What would me and Simon have to put on your
Well,
Christmas
I know
theme
what-
balls?
If I was thinking of Simon, I'd think of Grinch. So
yeah. Oh yeah, spot on.
All right.
Yeah.
Then. And me, fairy. That works well, doesn't it?
yeah.
I know that's what you want to say. Yeah, go on, Arch.
So do you reckon that Shrove Tide, to people in Ashbourne, is a similar feeling to the festive season?
Oh yeah.
Or do you think it's better?
Oh, he's better. Yeah.
I think that, yeah. I
Yeah.
think
Shrove
it's better.
Tide, it's unexplainable to people from out of town, but when you've been when you've enjoyed it like we've enjoyed it, and you've reaped the benefits of it, I think it's
Archie, you go through town, and I'll be with my. I've run up with it up here before. I've hidden in there before.
Have you?
Yeah, I just.
You remember?
She
Yeah.
yawns.
Oh, yeah.
She yawns at me. Okay.
Well, like I say, you could talk about 20 goals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, in here,
Probably
in the
30,
historical
40.
centre, we talk about Shrove Tide nearly every day of the year.
Well, yeah. I mean, one year it broke, and we're up grammar school, right outside of grammar school field, and we're in somebody's fish pond.
Yeah.
Phil Woolley had got him at bottom of the fish pond, and we were trying to get it off Phil. And I tell you what, Phil was strong. I think eventually Rue went off with it, and he did. Yeah, they chucked him over a fence, which he didn't know.
Baggy's ball.
Yeah, it were Baggy's ball.
Yeah.
But Rue should have met up with him, and he went the opposite direction.
Went for a cup of tea, didn't
Yeah, he went for a cup of tea, and in that house, which was Anne Lemon's at the time, was his mum and my mum and Anne Lemon, and Rue went in for a cup of tea, and he knew Anne well. Hey, I've just come away with a ball. He says, and your David nearly trod on me, because he went up Wimble Lane with it, and he ended up Wimble Lane, and I was in a garden looking for him. And apparently, I nearly trod on him. So, but he doubled back and went the other way. He should have gone down to Seven Arches.
Yeah, I think he went through town.
He didn't went straight through town.
Yeah.
Really?
But he should have gone through Seven Arches, where he should have met Paddy and Chaz and all of them.
Good
there,
idea.
so,
Yeah.
Some good
I
old
think he got in
tales,
trouble
isn't
for
they?
that, really. But Baggy Gold, that his brother.
Right. Yeah.
So I've got a bit of a funny question for you. What committee member do you think would make the best Santa?
Mr. Brown. Nige.
It's daffy. He's got the right shape for it, hasn't he?
I'll be more bully, but bullies.
Yeah,
are
Stephen.
Grinch.
Yeah,
He's a Grinch.
Is he a Grinch?
He is, yeah, he's not happy. Bully ain't.
Right then. So you've touched on about the organisation of it and things like that, and you've mentioned that the insurance is probably the hardest thing. How hard is it to set up the luncheons and those big, massive feasts and the amount of people that have to come?
That is well oiled.
Yeah.
And that's a well oiled machine. And
Right.
it starts with Angela Tomlinson and her gang. Obviously, Nigel's with his contacts in the catering business. Steve Jones, massive amount of work. Steve Jones, our secretary. But it's one big.
Yeah,
Everybody gets delegated the job, basically.
It's amazing how such a big thing like that can go ahead so smoothly.
And people, Tim, honest, the big thing they say is, how does this happen?
Well, that's how I always wonder that.
Yeah.
How the hell do you do something like that?
To be fair, the guy that does the meal, what's his name now?
I can't think.
No, but he's brilliant.
Yeah.
And he has been for years.
Fantastic.
Yes. Yeah.
Very good.
Ridgeway Catering.
That's the one.
Yeah.
So Nick, this is one for you. So your name is Nick, but your nickname's Algie. How did you get that nickname?
Yeah, I always wondered that.
I've probably been called Algie for 50 years. A lot of people don't know my real name. And it was Gary Sears, I think, Gary me at the time. Yeah. And it was after it was somebody out of Rupert.
Algie Pug.
Yeah, that's where it came from.
Yeah.
Probably as a 6-8-year-old lad. Yeah. And everybody knows me as Algie, so
It's not something you dredge out of a pond, then.
No.
Oh, that's algae. Isn't it?
That's Algie. Yeah. No, I've been known. Yeah, since I was a kid. Yeah.
Brilliant. Now, so how do you handle the safety aspect to Shrove Tide? So it's fun for everybody. What do you have in place for that kind of thing?
In fairness, so it's nothing. That isn't a committee problem, is it?
No.
We just talk to the players,
and ask them to play it right.
Yeah. And without them, we can't.
I mean, we do obviously spectators. We try and promote no prams, no pets,
no dogs,
and they still do come.
The marshals are
but
great.
we can always remember Sandy the dog, can't we?
Absolutely. Shrover, as he called him.
Which was Martin's dog, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Memories, you see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was always in the river.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Remember that as a kid.
Yeah. But no, we don't really have to touch on that, Tim, if I'm honest.
Good. That's a good thing.
But in the risk assessment, it's more the structures with the risk assessment. Assessment, bridges and things like that.
There's a couple of us who meet up with the. Obviously everybody knows that they have a meeting probably the Sunday before, and a couple from the committee go to each meeting. So that's standard. We're just pushing over, what we don't, worst case scenario. But normally it's police.
I mean, it's a game that's always been played at your own personal risk, because it's a game that you're going to get cuts and bruises, broken bones, and it's just, that's the nature of the beast, isn't it? You know what I mean?
I think over and over.
Yeah. You don't go to Shrove Tide and play and not understand that it is a tough. As John Chadwick said when he threw his ball up, it's basically it's for men of a rare breed. And I always remember John saying that, and it's stuck in my head because it's damn well true, not for men like me. Anyway, moving swiftly on, Archie.
So if the game was played on Christmas, like a couple of other traditions.
Oh, like Kirkwall, you
like
mean?
Kirkwall, yeah. How do you think it'd be different?
It was played on Christmas Day.
Oh, crikey.
You would have lesser numbers, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would.
People coming into the town.
Tuesday's mad.
I still think, obviously, your avid players would still turn out.
I don't think it'd matter.
It wouldn't matter. No, it might actually cut down on people coming out to the town.
It has quite got big, hasn't it, over the past 20 years?
Tuesday, especially.
When you, Dave, and Nick, on your wonderful plinth that you've just constructed, which is a wonderful piece, I have to say to you both, I was lucky to go up on that with John Tomlinson, because John's been a friend of our family for years. I was shocked when I looked round to see all the people from that vantage point. It was I was shocked. It was much more than I ever remember.
Tim,
as a
you did
kid.
a video about it. When I saw it, I was like,
it was amazing. I couldn't believe it.
I stand up near the park normally with my mum and dad, and I don't see how many people are actually there.
We're privy to some drone footage that the police show us now. That's just phenomenal. How you see how the hug moves.
Right.
And
spin it up.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And it's just, but the amount of people is just unbelievable.
Do you think that there was players, or ex-players, whatever you want to call yourself now, do you think that has an impact on how the game is played?
Without a doubt, yeah. I do, yeah.
I still think that it plays just the same, I mean...
It plays the same, it's harder. You can't, if I try and get in now...
Yeah, I think what Tim was asking...
Do you think it's harder to break with it now?
Oh, I think so.
Yeah. That's it. I suppose that's numbers of players, really, isn't it? I don't think it's the spectators more than anything. It's the number of players.
We were quite organised when they used to ask us if there's a time. We were quite organised as a team. If you want it, we send word in. We could do with it out to you. If there's a good time, a good place, and more often than not.
That was obviously me being a player.
That's it. It was part of that, and obviously we'd always try and end up giving it Nick.
So, Algie, you were a hug player.
Yes.
Dave, you were a runner. Yeah. Did you hug as well? That's a silly question, but
not he was lightweight. He was.
No, I wasn't one of these runners that was too far out. I was close by, really, and I got closer the older I got, really. But because it can go either way, you know. But I've seen a lot of goals gold in my time.
Right.
I've not missed many
No.
in 40 odd years.
No.
You know, both ends. Yeah.
Fortunate, yeah, we've been fortunate, and I
Yeah.
must admit that's one thing that I can say. You know, I've seen, you know, I know we've earmarked my ball, but I've seen a lot of my mates goal the ball.
Yeah.
You know,
That must be just equally as good to see.
great.
You know,
and even the opposition.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a firm believer. You know, that balls should be gold for the right people, and I've seen a lot of good balls gold. You know what I mean? By my mates, and so, you know, even though they're down, I was just on a roll.
sorry, man.
We'll just leave this in.
Yeah.
Technical hitch there, guys. Yeah, go on, Nick. You're on a roll. Carry
sorry.
on. Keep rolling.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of balls gold over the years, and as I say, a lot of my mates have gold balls, and I get great. As much as I've gold a ball, I've still had as much pleasure of my mates goaling a ball. Honestly, and I said that. I always said that when I did an interview with Yvonne Iddesy.
Oh yeah, Yvonne, bless her. Yeah,
This is what,
it's going back a bit. Yeah,
26 years ago, I think I goaled my ball.
Yeah.
And I said, it's not you goaling the ball. It is,
No.
you know, but yeah,
It's all right.
you've got obviously a lot of people helping you.
Yeah.
So to repay them people, is great.
It's wonderful. I used to carry Yvonne's lad, you know, when I was a kid. She'd give me a free video every year. Good memories. Yeah.
I bet as well as probably pride when you're walking back with your mates after they've goaled.
Yeah, what does that feel like?
It's probably because you've goaled a ball yourself. You know what they're feeling as well, and you know what you've been in their shoes already, so you know what they're feeling. So that's probably just really proud.
I mean, I've been fortunate to be carried back and carried out.
Yeah.
And they're both as good as you can never beat goal in that.
So is it hard, guys? You know, this Shrove Tide is, let's say, it's a very masculine, you know, game and are masculine orientated. Is it hard sometimes to keep, like when you throw it up in your case or goal it in both of you's case, to keep your emotions in? Is it easy to shed a tear when you've goaled a ball?
Yeah, it would be easy, I suppose. At the time, you're not thinking about that.
No, you don't.
You goaled the ball, you're fortunate.
No, I mean happy tears.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I mean, I don't think you think of it like that. I think me personally, I just thought, you know, I wanted to repay the people that had helped me.
Right.
That was my initial instinct, you know, from when I goaled the ball. Yeah, come on, right, let's get some of my mates. You know.
So you're not keen on goaling more than one then?
Never.
Lots of the modern players or the past recent modern players, Archie, have said this, haven't they? They don't.
It's. I know people say it's an individual game, right? And I've heard this before, and I'm not being controversial. To goal the ball, you need a lot of mates.
Yeah.
I don't care whatever anybody says.
Unless it's a fluke.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And I wouldn't say if I was there on my own and I was getting bombarded, I would goal another ball. Yeah. That's worst case scenario.
Yeah.
But I just
wouldn't happen now.
No, I just want to be mates goal the ball. Yeah. It was repayment.
It really would be frowned upon now.
Yeah.
I think it was easier to do it in them days.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I could perhaps goal 2 or 3. You know, but you didn't.
No. It's nice to see other people getting it.
Bill Ratcliffe, I caught my cup on that one and we just handed it to him. You know, and that was about half a mile away from the goal.
Right.
I was with Rob Godfrey's, you know, and then I was with mine, Botties.
Yeah.
You know, that early one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never ever thought
of getting another one.
No. So what do you think the most Christmassy thing about Shrove Tide is?
The Christmas is always exciting. Shrove Tide, finding out who's going to turn it up.
Yeah.
Yes, I
always.
And you'd probably be out with your mates and over Christmas, and what you're going to talk about is Shrove Tide.
Well, I'm out tomorrow.
I have a really important question.
I'm out tomorrow with all builders and everything.
Yeah.
The only thing you talk about is Shrove Tide.
Of course.
And they'll try and prize out of us
who's going to throw it up, get you drunk. Right then, this is the toughest question I'm going to ask you all night. Yeah. Mince pies or Christmas pudding?
Mince pies.
Both for me.
Both. All right. Brandy butter or custard?
And cream,
custard. Custard.
I like brandy butter.
Yeah.
What with custard?
All right. Okay. Yeah. Go on, Arch.
If you could wrap up the Shrove Tide ball as a Christmas present, who would you give it to?
Oh, that's a good one.
My missus. It did have to be my missus one too.
I think
she's so passionate about Shrove Tide. So it would have to be Yeah, wrapped up and given to the wife. Yeah.
And what's your go-to top-up drink on a cold Shrove Tide day?
I've got a picture of that somewhere, Tim. I think it was a bottle of rum that Liz baking sock.
Yeah.
There's a photograph of it.
Yeah, that's right.
Liz is always good for a drop, wasn't she? Yeah.
For an up and or a down.
Yeah.
Yeah, not like
Yeah,
nowadays,
no.
is it?
I don't think Beverly won't give us a drink.
No, bless her.
No. What do you want me to? Brandy for me.
Branded, yeah.
So, is there any Christmas songs that you would like to change to be more Shrove Tidey?
Oh, Lang Syne.
No, because we had a lot of songs, didn't we? With us, swear words in, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
when we
I
was
remember
on
that. Yes,
Yeah,
it was hell up in the paper, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
we got told off for
yeah.
that. I'm just trying to think of there any
Well,
Christmas
Jeff, we
ones.
always used to sing a song about Jeff.
Yeah.
You know, Jeff
Yeah.
Harrison.
Did
He
you?
was brilliant Shrove Tide.
But as a compliment to Jeff,
Yeah.
because Jeff was
Passionate.
he was a
Unbelievably.
pain in the arse. Jeff was running, hugging.
Yeah.
You'd always find him in the bottom, but by God, he could run as well, Jeff.
Yeah.
And he'd always
Very,
have a bag
very-
as well, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
He'd always have that black bag.
Oh, Jeff. Jeff lived in and sleep Shrove Tide, Jeff.
This is a good one. If you could go back in time, and not necessarily in your lifetime, and take part in a historic Shrove Tide football game, which one would you go to and why?
Question.
I go back to that one where I got stopped and what's it? If Anthony Bates weren't there, I'd have goaled that ball.
Oh, right, so one in your lifetime.
Yes.
Could you go back any further?
No, I do you know what? I'd like to have met people like John Mansfield and all the older guys years ago. That Don Lowndes, for example,
Don Lowndes is number one fan.
But as an upward, it was Mansfield.
Yeah.
So they obviously were good guys.
Yeah.
I always ask stories about Ray Storer, because Ray Gold, was it 2 or 3?
Two.
Was it?
Two.
And he said he was quick. But,
I think I'd go back further than that.
Come on, Nick, where would you go
well,
to?
he knows a bit more about the history than me. But
I'd probably go back to 20s, 30s when you see pictures of them when there's half a dozen in the river.
Right.
See what sort of, obviously, I know it's families and people would pick out families, at the time, but just see what they were like, whether they were, to be what everybody made them out to be.
Archie, when would you go back? What would you go back to?
What do you mean?
What game would you go back to?
What game would I go back to?
Or what year?
Because I'm a big Derby fan, I'd like to see Brian Clough turn up the ball.
75, yeah. I'd like to go back to 1885 and watch my Uncle Joe goal the ball at Sturston at 11 years old and see how he did that.
yeah.
We know he did, but I'd like to see how he did it. How an 11-year-old who then was forbidden to play in the boys'
don't get me wrong,
games.
he'll have just been dropped in there and give it.
He took it from town to Sturston,
11-year-old.
Yeah. With his dad, John.
Well, fair play to him.
Yeah, he did. That's true. Yeah. Picked it up at the back of the Methodist church in the river on King Edward Street. Yeah. And he was leaning over the wall, and he asked the players, chuck me the ball up, and they did. Yeah. And him and his dad legged it to Sturston, and he goaled it 11. The only thing was he was forbidden to play the boys' games afterwards. He had to play in the men's game.
Strong, wasn't he?
John, yeah. But I'd like to see it nonetheless.
Yeah.
So you'd like to see Cloughie throw it. So on that respect, then, can you guys remember Clough throwing it up and tell Archie a bit about what happened?
I've got a picture in my downstairs toilet.
Oh,
Cloughie.
Okay.
John Scott and Billy Ings give it to me, actually, because when they got memorabilia for...
Why in your toilet?
Well, it's just a nice picture in my downstairs toilet.
Yeah, it's something good to look at when you're having a throat.
I've got a picture of my missus when she did the North Run.
Right.
And I've got a picture of Brian Clough there.
Do you ever have any memories of him doing it, though, when you were younger?
I didn't. I was 7 at the time, so 6, 7, yeah.
He
the only thing
didn't
I
like
remember
it.
was they say he was frightened to death.
Petrified.
Yeah. I can remember Roy Mack.
I remember that.
Well, tell us a bit about that.
Roy McFarlane.
I remember it because I was pretty much with Gordon when he goaled it. Gordon Cresswell. Phenomenal.
I can see him sitting on the plinth signing autographs afterwards for folk.
Yeah. Gordon got stopped down the lane to that one. Terry Wesson, one or two others. But they give it him back. I thought Terry was going to goal that, if you want.
Really?
Terry, which is Ben Wesson's dad, But they give it Gordon back, and Kenny Wrencher was on the spindle. because that was the spindle then.
Wouldn't that have been ironic if Terry had goaled that and then Jed had goaled the one the day after? Because that would have been a strange
Yeah, it would, yeah.
and wonderful, in a way, setup, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That was the first goal I ever scored. Scored was Jed
I always
Wesson.
remember he dropped down to the spindle and Kenny was on the post, on the spindle. And I think Gordon must have been stopped more than once. He said, "Oh, not again." And I think Kenny just says, "There you go, goal it." And he did.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, when people have friends in Shrovetide, have you ever been playing and one of your friends has turned up and just thought, I really want to goal with this ball because it's my friend who's turning it up?
No, not really.
Not really,
Not
no.
really, Archie.
No.
No.
I mean, when I turned one up, I wanted an upper to goal it, which you do. And luckily for me, Maz goaled it, Stevie Maz. So I was chuffed. But no, I've got nobody down. There's odd people you think, oh, she'd have goaled it, but no, I was pleased for Stevie Maz.
Not for a certain ball.
Can you think of anybody that you played with or you saw playing when you were younger that's never goaled one that you would have liked to have seen goal one?
Yeah, there's several for me. Yeah, I won't name names.
No,
okay, but
that was more. That was more huggers really,
right?
Because I think if you were good enough at running, you would goal a Shrovetide ball in my day. If you could run, at a pace,
My Uncle Gary didn't ever get one, but was a shame.
No. Graham Lehman was very similar down there, and just hadn't quite got the. I thought he was going to goal one, but Uddy goaled it in the end. That one, that ran a long way.
I really thought Gary was going to goal that, but it just wasn't.
Yeah, Gary was with on that one.
But if you think of how many people start that game, as you said this last year, when you've been up on
amazing.
the steps. Yeah, it's amazing how many people start it, and then I mean, I'm not bullying myself up, but I was in 2 days in '99. I was one person that goaled the ball over 2 days.
Yeah, you were, weren't you?
All started. Yeah. So you're bound to. Yeah. Well, there's one or two that I'm disappointed that didn't goal the ball. As I say, I won't name names, but good question.
I've got a funny question for you.
Another one. Yeah.
If Santa played Shrovetide,
He'd be an upward one too.
If you play Shrovetide, do you think he'd be an upward or downward?
He'd got me an upward.
These two aren't going to say bloody downwards, are they? Come on.
He's happy and
I don't know.
He's organised.
That was the exact question. You knew what I was thinking now, Archie. You knew what I was thinking.
Go on, Arch, you've got up your game.
That'd be an upward. Got me.
I don't know. It's a weird one, isn't it? That you'll have like something like Santa Claus. You think he'd be a good hug player though, because he's got that belly on him. So come on, guys. What's the strangest thing you've ever smelt in a Shrovetide hug?
Oh dear, Tim, don't even ask. I'll tell you what.
Or the most horrible thing you've smelled.
I'll tell you one of the worst areas I've been in, and it was on Mark Ellaby's ball when that ended up near Sturston, and we went through. They've been mucking out.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Dear me, terrible up there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, you hit some areas going up in the river. And
do you remember that little culvert that goes under the whatever road it is, Bike Swimming Baths? Them little arches.
They
stink. Then things do down there.
What's it like under that culvert then through town in the middle of the car park? Have you been up that?
That's all right. Yeah.
Is it all right?
That's clean.
I've only been through once.
Oh, you don't blame me, don't. You can hear rats in it, can't you?
What's the point in going?
It's Shrovetide, isn't it?
If you can avoid it, avoid it. You know
It's no good to me over there.
No, not good for a runner, is it? Really? No. So, guys, we had a wonderful session with you both, and you're both great Shrovetiders and equally deserving of being on the committee and goaling balls and stuff like that. And in your case, Dave, throwing one up. Yeah. So, just a quick question for you, Dave, and this is because you've done both things. This is a tough one, I think. What would you say, in your opinion, was slightly the best out of the two?
Goaling
it.
Yeah.
How would you
never know you're going to goal one of these. You never know.
No.
For 2 months, but after it, you're a king for a while.
Yeah.
But you've got 3 months before, 2 months really, before you turn it up. And that 2 months is special. Before you turn one up, it really is special. It's close, but no, I don't think you ever.
I think the good
Ultimately, we play this game to goal it.
Absolutely. I think the good thing about Shrove Tide, I think we can all say this, all of us, whether it's Archie's a little bit of a filmmaker and a fan of the game and a would-be player, you're both players, goalers, turners up, committee members, I'm a ball painter. The Shrove Tide itself is bigger than any individual and any team and anything. It is the spirit of Ashbourne.
Everybody's got a part to play in that.
Absolutely.
Long way.
It gives us our identity, doesn't it?
We've been no good playing without you painting it. We've been no good without
somebody making it.
Yeah.
Carl Spencer now as well.
That's right. Cracking job he's done.
Yeah, great stuff.
Pitch, we can't play the game.
No.
And we're thankful for all the landlords, you know.
Got a lot to be thankful for, haven't we, guys? And do you think that's what probably gives our game, let's be honest, it's probably got the highest profile out of all the mass street football games that are left. Why do you think that is? What gives our game that high profile that everybody wants to come here and nowhere else?
One, it's royal.
Right.
I went up to the Workington one, and you wouldn't know it existed.
Right.
2 hours before the start. But then all of a sudden they gather there. It's quite a good game, that is, up there.
And I love the fact as well that we reward individuals by offering them that chance to throw the ball.
Yeah.
It puts because in other games you can just either purchase the ball or just get picked. Right. This has got a bit more status to it, hasn't it?
Yeah. It's the best game in the world.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
So what player would you say is an iconic player that's upward and downward?
Good question. Probably the strongest player I've played against in my era against this is as a downward is definitely Darren Waring. He just got the ability to get into the org. He was strong, without a doubt. Many more of them, but Darren, as I say, I grew up with Darren, but he was strong. He was very strong. He got a knack of getting in the middle of the org. Maybe didn't do as much as what he should have done with it when he got in there, but he had got power. He got the power to get in there. A big lad.
He was a good player down.
And what about an upward?
An upward? Oh, there's loads of them. Yeah. Running wise, I think everybody names him every time that you come on here.
Yeah.
And that's it, right? Without a doubt. We had
He is coming on here, by the way.
Yes, we have got him.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
That'll be a long one.
But as Dave said earlier, we've got a good relationship with, which you had to have, through our era. Where, we were in the hug. They wanted the ball. So it's not just one individual, but as Dave said, he just got the area mapped out.
Dave, what about you? Upward and downward?
Downward. It's hard. I mean, obviously, I'm going running wise. I find it hard to. There's Paddy, Rue, and Jeff Harrison.
Yeah.
I think Paddy had just got the edge, but Rue was quick. But Jeff was just dogged. He was dogged, and he
could do both.
He could do everything, Jeff could. And as it turned out, Paddy could in the end.
Yeah, he did.
Because when Paddy took his boots off,
he
changed his game, and he was as strong as anybody.
Yeah.
Upward, Mick Wright, without a doubt. But I will give a shout out for Rob Godfrey, because he was with us in the early days, and we learnt from two masters, which were Armstrong, Paul Armstrong, and Gordon Cresswell.
Yeah, brilliant. Some brilliant names.
Yeah.
So you've got that camera there. What would you say, Archie? You've got the attention of all these folks. What do you want to say to all the Shrove Tiders out there? Dave first.
What, me? Well, just live, eat, and sleep it, and then hopefully he'll go one of them. That's to all these wannabes that want it.
Yeah. Nick, what do you want to say to the Shrove Tiders and everybody?
Look after the game. Yeah. The game will look after you. And as Dave says, you're lucky. If you've got one of these, you're lucky. I don't care what anybody says. They might think that the very best out there, but you're a very lucky person to have one of these.
Is this a Christmas special, Archie? What would you like to say to the Shrove Tiders out there?
Don't decry our ancient game and never show defeat. Let us see our children's children play Shrove Tide in the street.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
There's a town still plays this glorious game, though 'tis is but a little spot, and year by year the contest fought from the field that's called Shawcroft. Then friend meets friend in friendly strife, the leather fort again, and they play